Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Number 2. Followed by.
And not to beg everything out this time. America? Hey, you are.
You're welcome, man.
Welcome. We're back.
That will never be outdated in this country.
No, our gratitude for your gratitude continues. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
This is Dave and Juan.
More time.
There you go.
I like that the way you know.
Okay, man, listen. I'm not getting any voiceover work. Not like Juan is. This is not where I was going to start off, but it never is. We always talk about right before we touch base on what we're going to talk about, and then it always starts on something different. So I met a neighbor a little while ago in my driveway. I walked out there, and she's walking up the street, and I could have, without even seeing her or hearing her or looking at the shirt, should have known Louisiana right from the jump, because Louisiana is that walks by and feels compelled. And we're standing. I mean, I'm at one end of my driveway. She's at the other on the street on a walk, and my son had just left to do something. And she makes a comment. Oh, I like that car he's got. Well, that's all it takes.
Yeah, you say call.
You know, she likes the car. What? That's how long has he had that? And her accent, she doesn't have, her accent's probably less than mine. But by the questions, by the willingness to just randomly
engage.
I'm going to engage with this person. I have no idea who you are. I'm standing, I may have been in my socks, standing in the driveway, and to start asking questions of, hey, I like that car. How old's that car? What you got it for? Right. So
you just jump in the middle of the thought. Forget the introduction or anything.
She and I talked for like 5 minutes before I got around to saying, you know, it sounded like the beginning of the podcast. Oh, hi, I'm Dave. Hey, her name is Jane, or I say it was Jane. I guess it still is Jane. Probably. I don't think she changed it in the past hour. So yeah, it was fun. It was funny. And she's originally from Opelousas.
All right.
Her husband's from Crowley. And me, bro, I got a brother-in-law a brother-in-law from Crowley. Oh, what's their name? Listen, so the whole thing, and she was actually one of the original folks here in the neighborhood. Down the street. So she probably lives, I mean, a quarter mile from me, maybe a little over that. I've been here 20-something years. You think I've ever seen it? No. She's even describing her house, and I'm probably have been by it 1,000 times. Don't even. It's kind of funny. You live, you get your little. Really? But we talked about, and my wife came out to grab a soft drink out of the garage refrigerator, and I can tell she was in a hurry. She's just running late, big shock, to go to something at church today. So she didn't really have a lot of time to talk, right? So she kind of came and I'm trying to introduce my wife to my new friend, and she was in a hurry, and I almost wanted to say, hey, look, my wife's not rude. No, she's just in a hurry. She would normally love to talk, but we talked about gumbos. Talked about weenie spaghetti.
Oh, well, what else is there?
There you go. So I got my new neighbor. Now, what I'm afraid of is that now that, you know, we've met and we're kind of chatty, that she's going to slow down as she walks by my house all the time.
She's going to expect this type of reaction and
looking for interaction. And don't get me wrong. Some days, all in. But because now you're going
to turn around when you see her coming.
I do that all the time. I got neighbors that I actually like. You know, if they need help, they need to call me. But you know, in a hurry and just not in the mood to talk sometimes.
Dude, I've done stuff where driving up, because I park outside of my garage and I see my neighbor or somebody pulling up. I'll stay in my car pretending to be doing something to avoid getting out at the same time.
The time I'll go walk out of my house to walk down to my mailbox, because in our neighborhood you don't have a mailbox in front of your house.
Down the street.
It's on the cul-de-sac, right? And I'll walk out of my house and corner of my eye, and listen, These are neighbors. I tell you, I watched several of them. I watched their homes.
Nothing wrong with them.
I've listed things for them. I got a neighbor who's out of the country now for 2 months, I think. The day before he leaves, right? The day before he leaves, we get a pretty big windstorm here, pretty big. The thunderstorms come through, and a sheet of his siding between our houses slips, kind of falls. He would never see it because it's just, not likely to see it because it's a part of the house you just don't look at. We're in the backyard. I don't even see it. My wife spots it. I'm like, oh, you can see like the black paper underneath it because it didn't fall all the way off the house. And this thing's about 12 feet in the air, 2-story house. It's up there. So I take a picture, I send it to him. Hey man, I hate to bum you out, but this is what's going on. And he was literally flying the next morning on a Sunday out of the country. So yeah, back and forth. And I'm gonna try to find somebody to do it. And then he called somebody to price it. They wanted too much money. So he said, whatever. So he's asking me if I would go ahead and find somebody to fix it. And then he'll pay me back, of course, right?
Yeah, look, like, how about you pay me forward?
Well, that's not even the point.
No.
It's sort of like, wait a minute. I have a hard time contracting for my own house. Like I'm going to do. So you know what I did? Here's the kind of neighbor I am, Juan. I went to the back of my house, got out a dang long, whatever ladder. And it's really a 2-man job to get that piece of siding back on for reasons I can't. Man, the next day I'm on a ladder. I'm like 12 feet in the air, propping that piece of siding back up. And I fixed it with duct tape. I got it.
You like being all handy, man.
Listen, it looks like crap. You really can't see it because it's in between the houses. Yeah. But that was like 2 weeks ago now. It's still holding, So I'm that kind of neighbor. I'm the kind of neighbor who will get on a freaking ladder, not telling my wife because she would have had a conniption fit knowing that I was on a ladder fixing somebody else's house. Now, that said, same guy who I will get on a ladder for. If I'm in a hurry or not in the mood and I walk outside and I'm going to the mail and they're hanging out in the front yard, I'll walk right back inside my house. It's like, I don't feel like chatting today.
Well, I had an awkward neighbor encounter this week. Somebody, we have of course, the neighborhood Facebook page, and somebody posted, anybody got extra Mardi Gras beads that they're looking to get rid of. I had happened to be in my attic the day before and said, oh, wow, well, look, I didn't realize we had these Mardi Gras beads up here. And it comes in the back, we go to Thibodeau parades. They throw the bags that the beads come in. I mean, the little zip up pouch thing.
What is that? I don't, yeah. Okay. Let me honor.
Yeah. So I said, oh, I think instead of 99.9% sure I saw some in my attic, and if they're there, you're welcome to. So went up in the attic, found that, then another garbage bag full of beads, and so I sent her a note, said, hey, you can have them. Oh, great, I'm at work. Can I come get them in an hour? Said, home all day, whenever you want. And
was this someone you knew before?
No. Well, yes and no. I didn't think I knew her. So I gave her my address and said, okay, if you take this street in the neighborhood and run straight through the stop sign, you'd hit my house. And she said, LOL, I know where you live. She thought I was joking to tell her that. So I asked my wife, I said, do we know this person? My daughter babysits for them, and she brings her kids, if they're walking by, they stop and knock on the door to say hi to my daughter.
Dude. No, it is doesn't make you a bad. In fact, it makes you a good neighbor. Yeah. It's the kind of neighbor I want. I want the kind of neighbor. I know who you are. We cool with each other. You're not going to do anything stupid at your house or in your yard that's going to bother. And I'm going to try to reciprocate. Right? Problems happen. I'm there, but that's it. Right? I never could see people that move in to neighborhoods or something, and they become best friends with their neighbors. And it's like, because that's like living next to you to close families. It'd be like if you live next to a sibling, where you might love your siblings, but then I don't want to see them every day.
it becomes, and we were the my first wife and I lived in a neighborhood, and like everybody who lived next door to each other, like we all had kids the same age. Whereas the time, the opposite of what I do now. If I drove up and somebody was in their yard, I walked up to the front of my driveway, and sometimes you stay out there for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But then it got to the point where it's like 5 families want a vacation together.
Oh,
and it's like, oh, dude, I can't do this.
Stop. But we're talking about and today we didn't timestamp this. We're doing this on a Saturday, everybody. This is the Saturday of Mardi Gras. The Super Bowl is
Super Bowl weekend.
So you never know. We can't come. So you're likely going to be seeing this podcast after the Super Bowl. But I want to go out right now and congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs for winning. We all know the NFL had the game rigged. Some of those calls were terrible. I think they had just the right amount of Taylor Swift coverage. I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to go out on a limb and make that prediction.
I would be willing to bet there are the in-game bets that have over and under on how many times you see Taylor Swift.
We can't. Can we see her enough? Can we see her enough?
I don't care.
Thank you. That's most of America.
Yeah.
What cracks me up are the people that say, I don't know why so many people hate Taylor Swift. And it's like, no. We don't hate Taylor Swift. We hate you. we hate the people who stop it. It's all good. It's like if you like something, it's okay. If it's not my cup of tea, rock and roll. Get on. Go ahead. It's like I actually made a note of this, a mental note, and then I jotted it down. I was watching something. We went to dinner last night, and one of the TVs in the place we were in had sound off, like music's playing in the place, but you see the sound. And it was I don't know if it was a commercial or footage or something. And it's like there's some protest going on, and people have this sign, no place for hate. That's their sign, no place for hate. And I thought, you ever notice that the people that are holding up signs that say stuff like no place for hate are the most hateful people?
Oh, dude, I've always said the people
you've ever seen
who fuss about tolerance are the most intolerant people you'll ever meet.
That's so funny. No place. No, yeah, you're hateful. You hate everybody.
Yeah.
That doesn't think or agree with you. But that was just.
I'd rather go for I just don't care.
Thank you. That's the problem. You see, that is how it used to be in this country, and I can speak now because I'm such an old guy. I know exactly what this country used to be like. That you could not care, and it was okay not to care, right? So I don't care, just fine, do whatever. Doesn't bother me. But then it's like, wait a minute. Not only it's not okay not to care. You have to have an opinion. You have to pick a side. Okay, I'm going to pick a side. Oh, you don't like the side I picked? You probably like me better when I didn't care, right? That's most of America. Most of America, those of you that are out there just starting stuff, you're better off us not caring. But then we also used to be able to trust that there were people in charge. We had these organizations, these alphabet organizations who are supposed to keep us safe and supposed to keep us, whatever it is. And then we have elections, and we send people there. And if we don't like what they're doing, that doesn't exist either. So it's sort of hard. It's sort of hard to get by not caring anymore, although I do try. But the most important thing we were talking about before was, why does Thibodeau Parade throw so many bags of the beads? What are y'all doing, yo? It's actually more fun when you open it and just throw a handful of beads. Yeah. You can make it rain. But we were at the parades last weekend.
The bags, dude, it can come with some velocity.
It does come with velocity, and it's, what are you doing? But here's the deal that I guess it's been going on forever, but way more, I think, in recent years. Mardi Gras beads are just all recycled. That's all, like, you are
right. I was talking to my son yesterday because he's going to parades in New Orleans, and he went last weekend and stuff, going with some buddies, and he's got a friend that lives in that area, or I guess along one of the routes. And he was saying that you just don't catch that much. I said, that's because the people in New Orleans are buying the beads. The people in Thibodeau are just using beads that they got from someplace else.
That's why, and I did notice this at the Thibodeau parade I was at. So we did, Shaka Khan? Look, man, I like that parade. You know what I like about Shaka? Man, everybody in that parade is having fun. That's a party. You just enjoy watching people enjoy themselves. They're going at it, and Thibodeau's such a interesting place. So I'm sitting there, and I had, who was with me at the time? I don't know if my mom came out there for a little bit or not. I think we rode the golf cart, but then she's not into parades. But I pulled up at a distance, right near a cop car on the corner, right there on Audubon and Menard. So I kind of parked the golf cart out of range. I didn't want to get hit by beads, so we're kind of out of range watching this. And then this dude, this is for the Shaka parade. This dude walks up, got a cowboy hat on. I'm trying to think of who he looked like, but and a vest. I didn't want to break his. I asked my wife after shit to tell him his vest is inside out. And he literally had his vest on inside out. He looked good. He had jeans and stuff. He looked like a cowboy, but he walks up to me and he says, "Man, you mind if I leave my gas can here?" Now that's an interesting question, right? Because I'm on Audubon. Audubon is closed. I'm on and I'm like, this is a public street. I don't know that I can. I don't know that I have the right to.
Yeah, is it a bomb?
And there's a cop. Well, what happened was he says, "Man, I was supposed to be in one of these trucks, but I got here late. I got a call from my friend, and his generator's out of gas on the float, and he's explaining which the float is." And so I got some gas. I got my can of gas. I got my can of gas. It wasn't a full can of gas. He had about like a third or half a can of gas.
Yeah. Not not grass cutting season. Why would you need gas at your house?
So he tells us, so my wife and I'm like, okay, which float? I think it's whatever. And he describes
was he asking you to give the gas to the guy?
He didn't want to leave the gas across the street. He was afraid somebody would take it. Because gas thieves in Thibodaux, I guess. And Juan, this is going on, and I'm sitting there thinking, all right, this is like a made up TV show, right? This is like an episode of Seinfeld where I'm sitting on a golf cart talking to this guy about, you want me to watch your gas can?
Yeah.
While we wait for your friend. And actually my son Abe was with us. He was sitting and it described what kind of car or truck the guy was in. And
what was he going to be doing?
He was going to walk up on him. He was watching the parade, and he was doing.
Oh, he didn't want to take the gas can into the crowd.
He didn't want to bring it, So I said, "Well, just leave it right behind us. Just put it, behind." I'm looking, make sure he has just a gas can. And he goes do his thing, and he's all meeting with friends and whatever. And then my son says, "I think his truck," like basically he's pointing out, "I think that's the truck he's talking about." And the guy that wanted us watching his gas can, he's having too good of a time to notice that his friend. So all of a sudden we're involved. Okay. That's why I prefer not to care. You put your head down, right? All of us, 10 minutes before, I don't know who this guy is. I got no idea. I'm just hanging out. Now I am personally involved in trying to get this guy's attention to ask him, is that your friend? Like, I'm more worried about getting the freaking gas can, right? And then lo and behold, I see him and he missed it. The truck kind of went by. Then he run, grabbed the gas can. He ended up getting in the truck. I said, who joins a parade once it's rolling?
And y'all had the beginning of the parade.
Right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, man.
Not like he was needing extra gas. He had no gas.
No, the generator was out. So I guess they got a generator in the back. And I was thinking to myself.
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, they got to have all that music and everything going.
Man, let me tell you, Shaka loves some DJs, bro. Shaka loves some DJ, and I'm all into it. And some of them can mix. Some of them were pretty good.
Yeah, I like the ones that are on like a flatbed trailer, just riding down. Got a banner with their name on it.
Now I can do without the ones that are playing the music and then choose to like, hey, they want to yell their stuff in it. I'm like, come on. If you can sing, sing. Yeah. If you can sing, sing.
I think a lot of DJs are just, they just want to be able to sing.
Frustrated.
So that's the way they do.
Frustrated musicians. But totally fun. Of course, my favorite float in any of these parades is the portalet float.
Well,
I sent a picture of that.
And who's using that?
That's my point. How bad do you have to pee, or God forbid, that you're going to get out of your float, walk up or down the
right
parade route, and get in a portalet being pulled on a trailer. I mean, now look, I would love I would do this. I would pay to join the whether it's Shaka or whoever, if they would let me put a folding chair on the back of the portalet float and I'll throw beads from the back. That's the float I want to be on. I want to be on the portalet trailer float. But fun time. Everybody had a great time. And New Orleans parade's going on today. Some really
through it all.
Really good friends of mine are riding on in Endymion.
Endymion, okay.
I've been offered. I gotta go. I gotta do that. Years ago, some friends from the Bayou who were all me like, hey man, you gotta join Endymion. And I was actually gonna do it. I was like, okay, I can carve out. Of course, at the time, I didn't realize how, these big carnival things. It's more about
you better, the money.
Well, it wasn't. It's
time you got because you have to
not
buy
as much
all
as you
your
think.
Beads.
Yeah, you do, but it's more like the time commitment and the the pre stuff to enjoy it. I would like to be able to just go like, okay, day of, ride, do the stuff, do the. But no, all that was cool, and I even told them, we joke about this all the time. I was getting ready. I was feeling, I'm gonna join Endymion. What the heck? I mean, and if I can go, I can go. If not. But man, you start, and I'm sure other crews do this, dude. The information they wanted, I've taken out mortgages, right? I've purchased homes that didn't require the background check that they wanted on. It just turned me off. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, we have a recruiter at work now who was asking me to redo the job application. And so she gave me some stuff and it had social security number on it, next of kin and contact or emergency contact. I said, well, why would I give you my social security number and my emergency contact to apply for a job?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I can quit at that point.
I guess. It's funny. We used to throw our social security number out like it was nothing.
Oh, dude, we remember when we were in Nichols, that was what you registered.
That was your student ID. That was your student ID. That's the only reason I learned it.
Yeah.
I still remember my buddy Jim Hogue. Shout out Jim. Jim's riding on Endymion tonight. When we were in junior high or high school, it freaked me out. He knew his social security number. He had it memorized. And I used to have it in a little card in my wallet. I think we all did. I mean, we just carried it around. It was like, you're slowly, and I didn't learn it till I got to Nichols, because then they made you.
Right. You had to write it on everything.
Yeah. But and now it's like, ooh, man, you better watch your social. They're going to take the title to your house.
Yeah.
Those commercials, huh? Title theft is, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's a serious thing, but man, you ever notice how you hear all the same, the title theft commercials are typically followed by a buy gold commercial, typically followed by a pharmaceutical. It's I think they got the demographic. They got the right demographic there.
Well, I know back to Endymion, Sting is playing the ball tonight.
That he is. I would have loved. Now we were tempted on that. My wife loves her some Sting, but actually, while we're doing this, our church has this big. I don't know. It's a day long. It happens once a year. It's a day long. Now she's gonna be mad at me. I would tell you what the name of it is, but I don't want. But it's about 1,500 people, and it's all day, and my son's singing, and they feed him dinner, and it's which is kind of joke about that, man.
What is it? You describe? Is it a festival? Is it a revival? Is it?
It's a day of it. Well, the name
prayer.
Yeah, it's sorta. They call it. It's Heart of Worship is the name of the thing. But they actually got speakers, a lot of priests. Yeah. Like I said, 1,500 or so. A lot of music, and it's just a day long.
Yeah.
And I kind of kid about that. I mean, we joke about this before about I think you've told me you shouldn't judge the quality of the mass by the time. Did you get up there? I can go to a Latin mass if they finish it in an hour. I don't.
Well, pretty much what they're saying.
I don't know necessarily need to know exactly. I kind of know what's going on, but it goes till 9 o'clock tonight.
Wow.
So it's, I know it's,
we would call that at my church a day of prayer and worship.
Okay. That may be what they call it here. Hey, let's see, while I'm talking to you, let's use that my Ring doorbell. Let's see. No, is it politicians? We got politicians walking around the streets today. We got some elections coming up. Yeah, while I'm standing out there with my new friend, June. It's June, right? June. Wait up.
I thought it was Jane.
I think I got that wrong. I think it's June. It just don't me. I think it's. Well, here's what I'm guessing she's not listening. I'm guessing she's not listening. But some politicians came up while we were there and handed us flyers and.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. You wanted to put a sign in my yard? No, it's okay, bro. No,
I bumped into an old quote unquote friend.
Quote unquote.
Last week. So this guy I went to high school with. I don't think I've seen in decades, maybe since high school. So I took my dad to a wake in New Orleans last Sunday. So
Marrero.
Yep, Marrero.
See, I can remember what you told me last week. Yeah. I couldn't remember June's name, but okay.
So I stopped at a little convenience store on the way to get myself a Diet Dr. Pepper and see if they had this new flavor of Doritos that I like. But they didn't. But so I see this guy, really, really tall guy. I said, man, that looks like some dude I went to high school with. And I heard somebody call him Randy, and I said, well, I think that was his name. So yeah, I'm feeling social. And I said, hey man, what's your name? And he told me his last name, and that was him. I said, hey dude, I'm Juan, man. Went to high school with you. He said, oh my God. So yeah, we start talking and everything. What he didn't bring up, which I quickly told my wife when we got home. Somehow or another, he and I had gotten an argument in school, and I told him, I said, just because I used to see him when you drive down what was called Pankerville Lane.
Okay.
He was always walking, and the people who would walk on Pankerville Lane tended to walk on the road. And I said, let me tell you something, man.
People who used to walk on Pankerville Lane walked on the road. That's good.
Yeah, I said, when you see me coming down that road, you better get off.
Why you told him that?
I don't know, because we were because I was a jerk.
Okay. Oh, so you guys were we were
having an argument,
and you just basically put it out there.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
You threatened vehicular homicide.
I did.
Okay. All right.
And he was really tall and had really long fingers. So one day I'm driving down Pankerville Lane, and there he is. So now he's walking as close to the edge of the road without being off the road as he can. And I'm driving as close to the edge of the road while still being on the road as I can. And the dude starts wagging his finger at me. Again, real long fingers. His finger hit my radio antenna. That's how close I came to him. And I'm sitting there saying, man, back then that seemed like I was, all right.
And y'all didn't you didn't bring that up in the convenience store you were in.
No.
You didn't say, how's your finger,
that time
bro?
I almost hit you?
How's your finger, bro? You think he has to remember that? Is this the kind of thing that you?
I would think.
It's amazing, as old as we are, and I mean, I'm not quite as old as you, but we've established that. But I'm in your. I'm in your range.
Ends up my zip code.
Yeah, we could have been in high school together. But I at the funeral I went to so I missed my reunion this year, right, for various reasons, because I know how awkward it would have been to be also at the reunion when there's still some people that I never, ever, ever, ever think about, but I know I don't like.
Yeah.
And chances are I don't like you now, right? It might not be an open, like back in the day, it was an open, not quite like you threatening vehicular homicide and then coming dang close to it. I don't know that I was at that range, but there were some people that, all right, bro, you don't like me, I don't like you. Fantastic. Now, when you're young, it's a lot more opportunity because you're out more and you interact more. that you're going to actually get into some trouble, right? You get old, but so I didn't see that at the reunion, but at the funeral I went to, there were a few folks there, and one of them was there. This guy that I don't like, and I know he don't like me, and we kind of left it at that 30 something, 40 years ago. And man, we're at a funeral of a friend, mutual friends, and I'm thinking, do I like walk over and say, hi or whatever? And then I'm like, no, because I'd be really mad if he's a chew. Like if I'm the bigger guy and I'll walk over and say, hey man, how you been? And I get then I'm gonna be furious. Of course, then I didn't do anything, and I'm like, well, he ain't gonna make the effort to come say hi. All right, we are where we are, bro.
In essence, you wanted to be the bigger man to prove that you were the bigger man.
Yes. And then I realized it's not going to work out well for me being, this thing. I treat people. Yeah. I walked around and hugged a bunch of other people.
Yeah, you have a big conversation with somebody, then you realize that it was somebody you hate.
I don't do that. I remember if I hate you, bro. It don't take long. I'm sorry. I'm forgive and forget. I'll forgive. Never forget. I ain't lying, dude. If you cheated, like if you sucker punched, hit me with a dodgeball back in the day or whatever, I remember. I haven't thought about it. I don't walk around thinking about it, but I'll run into somebody from 20 something years ago. Think, yeah, I remember you. I remember when you. Oh yeah.
Yeah, throw that ball now.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's how my wife freaks out. My wife can't believe the stuff I carry. Again, I couldn't remember. I could not remember June's name from 2 hours ago or an hour ago, but I can remember, dude, you wronged me in third grade.
Vengeance is strong.
Huh. But closing, we're talking about Mardi Gras parades and everything. Now, is it just me? Maybe, and I haven't been to a New Orleans parade, and man, it must be almost 10 years. It's been a long time. What happened to doubloons?
I don't know. They don't.
That used to be when we were growing up, bro.
Dude, you throw your foot down on a doubloon.
Man, you would kick somebody for a doubloon, and the thing about doubloons is they roll. So sometimes it would hit you.
You got to be careful. It rolls back up under the float.
You got to watch that kind of stuff. But man, there was nothing more magical than waiting on a parade, and you'd hear the cling, 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 cling when the balloons hit the street. That's when you knew, oh, bruh, they throw in the balloons. I can remember being, and I can't stand parades, but I can remember you'd get excited when people were throwing the doubloons. Now, I think part of the reason may be that they're hard to recycle, right? So
yeah, because it's branded, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that before. Like in parades later on, you catch a doubloon from some other parade from 3 years ago.
2013.
Could you more obviously be recycling this stuff, y'all? But yeah, it's something that struck me is why there's no more cling cling. The stuffed animal thing, I'm not a fan of. People throw stuffed animals, and I'm thinking,
but then it's because they're recycled too, and it's like,
exactly. How gross is that? How many? Where's that stuffed animal been? It'd be like throwing out pillows.
Right? Who's drooled on this thing?
No lie. Whose dog chewed on this for a little while? And actually, I trust the dog chewing on it more than some of the other places. The other thing too is I don't know. I mean, I guess people vary on what they think about it, but I hadn't had king cake in a long time, and I try. It's not on my.
I'm not a king cake guy,
but
we had the king cake contest at work that I didn't win this year. The contest was Thursday. I mistakenly brought my king cake on Monday.
So it was really good to go by Thursday.
They made it again.
Yeah. Hey, listen. But I came to the conclusion, not that the world cares, but give me just a plain king cake.
That's the whole thing. Because everybody wants these, exotic things.
Shout out to Rouse's. I only shop Rouse's when I'm obviously there's no Rouse's around me. So, and they got the huge select, but they move some king cakes, man. But we bought the big. But dude, talk about the Biden economy. Have you bought a king cake lately?
I don't buy it. I don't know what anything costs, man.
I want to say so. The one we bought, and I mean it was the two sizes. They got a smaller one and they got right? And it's big. It's not massive, but it's like $30, 30 something. Yeah, the little ones were like 20. But here's the deal: they got like red velvet cake, king. That's not a king cake. Cookie dough king cakes. Hey, don't get me wrong. It's a cake.
It's a cake in a circle, with a hole in the middle.
Just straight up, straight up plain king cakes, y'all. That's maybe I will allow cream cheese filling, maybe sometimes a little bit, but just straight up king cake. That's all you need. All right. So you'll work on that, Louisiana. You don't like king cake if it needs to taste like red velvet cake.
So flipping back and shifting gears, talking about the opinionated fascination with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I'm guessing you didn't watch the Grammys.
Oh, dude, if you'd have broke into my house,
no,
tied me up, put a gun to my head and said, "We're watching the Grammys," I'd beg you to shoot me. Shoot
me. Apparently, the duet between Tracy Chapman and who's the guy?
Don't even care.
What's his name, Riley? Luke Combs.
Hey, rock and roll.
Has created a new harmony in the world. Oh, okay. Taylor Swift also got some album. I don't know what she said.
We don't care.
Oh, she announced her new album. So good news there.
Oh, heavens. Thank you.
Thank you. But so people also, you want to talk about get angry. Well, it's, Luke Combs or Tracy, when you see a headline that said Tracy Chapman joined Luke Combs, when people say, Luke Combs joined Tracy Chapman. It was right. It's all people. Look. Right here, baby.
There you
Original Tracy Chapman album.
Original album, bro. Original album.
It's got a slice in it, so that means I probably stole it from a radio station or something.
100%. I'm sure I got some of those around here too. Not for resale. Boom.
Right. It's so everybody now wants to be a Tracy Chapman fan because it's some social justice thing. Like, yeah,
you know what I respect about her, besides the fact what I respect about her is she just didn't, she ducked out. She had a hit. Didn't she play Live Aid? I'm pretty sure she did.
I probably did. That's well, she might have been a bit.
No, I think she stepped in.
This album came out in 80.
I think she stepped
phenomenal.
in.
She's a phenomenal artist. I actually listened to the whole album the other day. I mean, good stuff.
Yeah.
Depressing.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, Fast Car is a depressing song.
Right.
Everybody.
It's not some cute little ditty.
And it's a good story. This guy, Luke Combs, says that when he was a kid, it reminded him of his dad. They go for rides, and that was the song. He either had it on a cassette or something. So, yeah, rock and roll. Look, while we're talking about all this, and again, this is old guys shouting at clouds, but we did lose a huge music star this week with Toby Keith. I mean, that's just one of those guys. Who'd have thought that Willie Nelson would outlive Toby Keith? Willie Nelson is still alive, right? I'm pretty sure.
He's still performing. He's 90.
Yeah. Well, they roll him out. Yeah, they roll Willie out. But Toby Keith, man. And you go back and look at the catalog, and people say, right, and that's that's old school country to me. Yeah. That still loves the flag, plays for the troops. Does his thing. And still to this day, it's hard, everything's subjective, but still, maybe if you allowed me to go back to like relive one concert, like go to the best concert you've ever been to, it'd have been Toby Keith at Cynthia Woods in the Wood. It was, and besides the fact that was when, American Soldier and put a boot up your ass. What was the song? Angry American. And all those other Beer from My Horses. I mean, what I'm saying? He had all these massive hits, and it was just a great night, Saturday night. And the crowd was, and I think I told you that before. It's like I brought my wife couldn't come for some reason. So I brought my brother-in-law who did not like country music. Flat out, that guy did not like country music. And we weren't 3 songs into that concert. And he was like, this is the best thing ever. It was.
Yeah. If you sit and listen to a good, country artist.
And when the crowd's with it, what I'm saying? The crowd, it's, a bunch of cowboys and cowgirls. And I do remember him saying, I got to say this, they got better looking women here than any concert I've been to. And they were, Yeah, but they all here to see Toby. But so rest in peace, Toby. Dude will be missed.
I also listened to Styx, the Grand Illusion album.
Holds up.
Dude,
holds
it
up. Man.
But all the harmonies on it, the synthesizer mixed with guitar licks.
Man, look, there's a concert coming. There's a concert coming to the man, I wish it was down here, but it's not far. I just look at that to see if I can go to it. It's they say last time together, whatever. It's John Waite, Foreigner, Styx.
Is it at Cynthia Woods? Is that
Cynthia Woods on a Saturday
summer,
night,
right?
I think so. Yeah, in June, I believe.
Try to go. Yeah.
I got a couple friends that have, again, like these are the 4 seats box things that cost $100,000. And I was talking about, but I know they're going to go to it. It's on a Saturday.
Well, it's like, I'm not big on seeing the bands that aren't the real bands.
Correct.
Styx is enough of it, but I mean,
well,
Tommy
yeah,
Shaw,
no,
but
I mean,
still, both of those have a good catalog. John Waite.
I just love the fact that John Waite is actually going to be playing to a big crowd, because that guy, he can't. I can't figure that out. I mean, that guy, the fact that he can't sell out small arenas anymore, and I'm like, dude, that guy's he's
even the stuff with the babies, man, he had was great.
Are you kidding me? Bad English, the babies, and his solo stuff. John Waite is stout.
He's got. We may have talked about this before. There's a documentary on him on Prime. Check it out.
I want to congratulate ourselves for being almost at the 3/4 part of this podcast, and we didn't talk about the 2 biggest things in the world that happened this week. The first, real shortly, is Tucker Carlson traveled to Russia and interviewed Vladimir Putin. I watched the entire thing. Did you watch it?
So I've seen clips of it, but
clips are the best way to watch it. It's a 2-hour interview. It's a long interview.
But so the translation from Putin sounded robotic. Is it, or is that just the way the guy?
That's somebody there live. That's somebody there. And so you're listening to an interview that's right. But it also makes you realize why so many, on quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, on our side, don't want you to be able to hear what this guy has to say, which is amazing to me. Journalist, like, hang on a second. We're in what is really transforming a lot of stuff. It has very, very, very serious impact, but we're not supposed to hear what this guy is saying. And whether you think he's the evil incarnate, I don't know, maybe he is, but you watch it and you realize, okay, the dude is there. The dude is not, he's given a history lesson on why, right? Again, stuff that other people
started with, like a 45-minute monologue.
It was about 30, and Tucker Carlson thought he was, and you have to watch what Tucker said after. He thought he was filibustering, but then realized after, no. This is what, and it's a different perspective. Like, I guess it would be like this. And I think, everybody's going to discount it because it's something that Trump said, but it was right when he said, I expect the leaders of other countries to be about their country. Like, I expect when I'm dealing with China or Russia or wherever, that they are going to try to do what's best for them. That's how you're supposed to be. You're the leader of a country. Your job is to take care of your country, not some club, not some, right? And you watch this guy and you think, yeah, this dude and his, look, man, we don't want to hear the other side of the story sometimes when it's pretty obvious. Oh yeah, we did that. Oh yeah, we did that.
Well,
we did that. Yeah.
One of the memorable things that I heard was he basically said, yep, war in Ukraine would be over in a couple of days if y'all stop sending them money.
That's right. Or that he was, it could have ended early. Yeah. And we all know that happened. They were ready to cut their deal and be over with. And then Boris Johnson, who was a clown on behalf of us, goes and stuff. So that's the thing to everybody. But you notice you don't see anymore. This is, and again, my only thing is this. if 2 years ago you were, those of you that can't find that place on a map, that were all about that became your life, and all you could do was throw
Put
this
little ribbon,
or whatever, right? You know what? It's still going on. In fact, it's worse than ever. Where you at? Where you at? Right? They came out the other day talking about, we got like $40 million invoices that they're admitting were fraudulent, that they don't even know where this money's going. Right? So that mess happens, and you watch this, okay? And it's like, well, okay, I don't know, whatever side you're on, I think it's important that, right? It's world history happening here, and I think I took it that way, that Putin is some of these other countries, man, they think in centuries, right? They have history. They talk about how it comes. And if you look at Russian history, man, listen, that place has had it rough a few times. Okay, they have a history. America, we have the attention span of goldfish. We don't. No. They told me on TV that we're the good guys there, not us. We didn't do that. That's what they say, that history books are written by the winners, right? By the victors. That old Norm Macdonald line. Turns out the good guys always won. Turns out. So that happens. So everybody's talking about that. And by the way, I think in the first 24 hours, that interview, or at least clips of it, but most of the interview, hit 100 million views. 100 million views. I don't know what's going to
probably even more than Shannon Sharpe and Monique.
It is. Monique's climbing, but that's coming up. I haven't watched. I've seen clips of that one. I got to go back. Who knew that Shannon Sharpe would end up being?
Shannon Sharpe has become the home of slamming other African American artists.
But you know what? And here's how you can tell. It's like, well, let's see the let's see that. That's like the whole thing. People that go after Robert Kennedy Jr., his book on Fauci. And man, let me tell you something. I've got it on my desk here somewhere. You read that book, you're like, oh my God, how is this guy not in jail? How is this guy allowed to walk free? And all these footnoted stuff. And people say, oh, why isn't he getting sued? Why isn't he getting sued? Yeah. If all this stuff is right, if it was not true, it'd be slander. They'd sue him in a heartbeat. It's not happening. And the same thing with some of these interviews. Okay, let's hear the other side. Are they lying? They shouldn't say, okay, are they lying? Now, feel like I'm filibustering. So we all know what happened. We watched this interview, right? And everybody has their opinion of it. What happens the next day? Let's compare that to America.
Yeah, a guy who's got encyclopedic knowledge of history.
Yes, and can
to the leader of the free world, who we all forget things, man. We all forget. Who wants to remember that day?
Yes. So those of you, and this is what's interesting, and this is why you and I texted back and forth, and I said, in my opinion, I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. I think the decision has been made by
even some of the other network. I mean, CNN. Yeah.
When CNN and MSNBC start calling it out, they've gotten the marching orders. But so this report comes out, whether it's a special counsel or whoever it was, you forget, right, about the mishandling of classified and very, very secretive, very
willful and knowing mishandling.
Willful and knowing, yes, willful and knowing mishandling of classified, big time classified. I mean, and it's
and sharing
joke. And sharing, and it's a joke, and it's in several places, not even just one. It's in a garage, it's at a university, offices, sponsored by China, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but that's a whole okay. So all this going on, obviously, clearly, this is felonies, multiple felonies. Okay. But then the guy says, the counsel, whatever, says, well, we're not gonna charge the president of the United States because he would only come across as being a forgetful old man who the jury would probably feel sorry for.
Right. Which, in other words, would feel that he is incompetent to convict.
Correct. So
that was the polite way of saying it. And remember this, our leaders had to, parse through this thing. And I'm sure this is probably the fifth rewrite of that, So that was, in my mind, the polite way of saying incompetent to stand trial.
No, 100%. That's exactly what it is. And they basically also in there noted that he's gotten way worse.
Yeah.
Which by the way, y'all, at some point you got to get mad and say, when is it elder abuse? What's happening right now? Because what did they do? They panicked, and some people think they panicked and threw him out there. Right. There's a leader of the free world that usually he checks out around 11 o'clock in the morning and noon. Right. They put a lid on it.
Some of the excuses were, dude, it was late though, man. You got to realize it was late. He went out there at 7 o'clock.
So they bring him out there after whatever, and it was a train wreck. Yeah. So if you're putting somebody out there to basically refute a report that says, bro, this guy's gone. Like he literally, he can't remember. He didn't remember what years he was vice president. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when was that? So was I still vice president then?
Okay. So that's what's
but
basically
then basically
happening.
Within that level of incompetence demonstrates with his rebuttal of the report demonstrates the accuracy of the report by saying, hey, showed me that I didn't do anything willful.
Nobody's doubting any. Yeah. So that's, but what happens, it becomes painful over time. You see, there's two different standards as far as, and that's why people are getting nervous about what this year is going to show, because it's going to get uglier and uglier. But no, they got to pull them. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that was an accident. I think the powers that be, whoever's running this place, that's the other thing. That's all we want to know. I think that's all most Americans could say, because nobody with two brain cells to rub together would look at this poor guy and say, yeah, he's calling the shots. That's the guy.
My whole thing is, if he's not in a position to face charges, and he's darn sure, it's one or the other.
Yeah. You're incompetent. You're incompetent to stand trial, but you got the nuclear codes. Okay.
You can run the government.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
This morning where it said that Kamala Harris is Biden's best insurance policy to not lose the presidency.
They used to say that about Dan Quayle with HW.
Bush.
Yeah, probably so. But hey, I'm not just picking on one side. Who would you put money on if we made him sit down right now and we're going to have I was going to say a game of chess, but that'd be way beyond them. But a game of tic-tac-toe between Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell.
Oh Lord!
Good grief! They'd be 10 seconds into the game and forget if they were X or O.
Yeah,
it'd be one of the first X. It'd be one of the first tic-tac-toe games where you'd find squares written down. Like, no, dude, what do you?
Mitch would freeze up for a good 40 seconds. Right. And if he was competent enough to play, he'd purposely lose.
That's what you have to look at, y'all. And again, the rest of the world, and not that the rest of the world hates us, but people get nervous when the most powerful country in the world, it's obvious who's running it. And even the quote unquote leader of the opposition,
right,
needs to be escorted off the stage every now.
Pushing for the bipartisan border protection bill.
Bipartisan.
That the vast majority of money in the bill has zero to do with the border.
But you know what was even more important that happened while all this is going on? On my way back from Louisiana the other day, I got a ticket.
Dude.
What the flippity flip?
How fast were you going?
I was doing 72 in a 55. Coming off of 70.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right. Dude, and it's in Berwick. Shout out Berwick. Even though when the cop, and I was nice enough, here's what made me mad. So we're driving, and Berwick, the 90, Highway 90 through Berwick is a piece of, getting off there. It's a crappy road. It's bleh. But anyway, so I was nice enough, and I couldn't believe this guy. His cop is sitting out there in the middle of like a turning lane. And I saw him from a ways away, but I made the mistake, y'all. It's like being the lone zebra on the savannah. You want to run with a pack. You don't ever want to be out where, and I come off that bridge, I guess Morgan City Bridge, whatever it is, and it's 70 miles an hour. before the bridge. I wasn't doing 70 on the bridge, but yeah, you kind of come off, you're driving, it sort of open up. And yeah, I saw him, but I guess I wasn't paying attention, and I may have slowed. And then not far after I went by him, my wife says, yeah, he's rolling. Son of and I'm watching, stays for a while, and then boom, here come the lights. I'm like, you son of a. And you know what I was mad about after? I was nice enough to pull off into a parking lot to get off the road, because I get so upset with people that pull over.
Stop traffic.
They stop. They call. So I'm nice enough to pull off, and I'm thinking,
you thinking safety.
And maybe I'll just get a warning. And then my wife said, you got Texas plates. You ain't getting a warning. And he comes out there. I'm not gonna give the guy's name, but I shared it. First thing when I showed the ticket to you guys is like, yeah, that guy sounds like a local. Guy has a name that sounds like he came across last week. But and you know what? Nice enough dude. I get it. He was polite, and he must have been here long enough, because his accent was pretty. He said Berwick so flat and quick. It sounded like he said Berg. And I'm sitting there going, I know I'm not in Berg. What's a Berg cop doing out here? And because I didn't even know where I was at the time till I got the ticket. Oh, Berwick. But yeah, I've got. I didn't even know what the fine is yet, because I got to go online and see what it is. I think my if I would want to challenge it, it's on March 5th. Might make a road trip. 5 o'clock. Who has?
Let me tell you, you go to court to challenge a ticket, they will straight up tell you that you will be last on the docket.
That's all right.
So it means you're going to be there all day long.
No, it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. It's literally the court time is 5 in the evening. I'm like, wow. What the heck? I know. What I want to show up, man. I want to claim, what's the stuff you can claim? I was entrapment.
Speed trap. Well, yeah.
And by the way, and I'm sitting there, and my wife, she was nice enough to let me to get it out. She was like, well, okay, you were speeding. And I'm like, yeah, I was. Technically, I'm doing 72 and a 55. But I just came from a 70. And I'm about to come to 70. So all you small towns, it's an ATM. It's, what it is. They got their rolling ATMs out there. They pay for stuff by doing this. But and I'm just sitting there going, this is great. This is wonderful. I promise you, within a quarter mile of here, there's a meth deal going down. I promise you there's crime where I was pulled over. Like, I guarantee you somebody's shoplifting in this store right now. In my head, I'm like, I'm just so glad that the fact that I am doing 17 miles over the random number you guys chose to put on the street out there. But I wouldn't want the guy's job. Again, I keep talking about myself. Yeah, you're walking up on somebody's car. You never know who's going to pull something on you. So being a cop sucks. I get it. So I'm not necessarily mad at the dude, but I'm kind of mad at the.
Well, at least you weren't one of those people who said, I don't have to give you my information. Sir, I know the Constitution. I don't need to give you my information.
Man, look, here you go.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, I used to, when I first got my concealed carry, they used to tell you to hand them your license and your concealed carry. Because basically what that tells them supposedly is that, I'm not a bad guy. I've had a background check. I mean, it's, they don't just give concealed, you got to pass things. But my experience with that has been, as soon as you give that to somebody, they immediately, you have a gun on you now? All of a sudden they get a lot more.
And did you have one?
Sure, I had one on me. I mean, it wasn't in my pocket, but yeah.
Did you tell him?
No, I don't do that anymore. I don't volunteer it anymore, because, by the way, by the time they pull up on you, they got all your stuff, man. That system, he even prints out the your ticket stuff right there. It was almost like I was at Jupiter Pizza or Flying Saucer buying food, and the waiter comes over to you after, and you pay right there, and they just can spit out a receipt for you. That's what the cops have right there. Here you go. And all your information is on there. So City of Berwick, you're welcome. You're welcome. Probably going to cost me a couple $100 or so. I don't know what.
So. I know in Baton Rouge, it's like, the court cost or the court side of it's $150, I think, before you get to the fine.
Whatever. So, hey, Berwick, You're welcome. You're welcome. Some stuff. We're kind of up against this. I wanted to talk about the We Are the World documentary. Let's do that next week.
Dude, I heard that is great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know that I learned much of that. I didn't. It's a time capsule. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch, and you forget what music used to be like when these people and some of these stars when they were much younger. The funniest thing, we'll talk about it later, but the funniest thing was that Bob Dylan was there, and he didn't like Bob Dylan that's not his thing. And they had him doing a solo at the end, and he just really didn't know what to do. And they had Stevie Wonder walk over to the piano, and Stevie Wonder did a Bob Dylan impersonation for Bob Dylan. So he could hear, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day. Just you and me. So that was to me, that was the greatest thing, was Stevie Wonder had to do an impersonation to show Bob Dylan how to sing like Bob Dylan. But
maybe Bob just lip synced it.
Could have been. But anyway, that's a longer conversation.
Yeah, I'll watch it this week, so we can talk about it next time.
And I think the buffet has been laid before them, guys.
Right.
But toward the end of the buffet, we've gone through the chocolate fountain, the shrimp cocktail, the meatloaf. We're all
got a little king cake there waiting for you. Then
there you go, and it's time to push the button, get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to tape, y'all. If you want to reach us, we ain't hard to find. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com.
And right here.
Wherever you at. You may be watching this on one of those TV screens at a gas pump. If that's where you're watching us, see you next week.
Fill her up.
Come back here. We'll be here every week. It's not a suggestion, not a hint.
No, man, we're not doing.
Not a subtle implication.
It's not an implication at all.
Freaking mandate. It's a mandate, guys. Get out there and live your best life. Live your best life. Some of you coming off the weekend. If you did most of the Mardi Gras weekend, congratulations for making it.
Hope you caught some good stuff.
Some of you may be watching this prior to Tuesday. Those of you that go hard on Mardi Gras Day, it's supposed to be a nice, chilly, pretty day around South Louisiana. You guys rock on with your bad self there. Don't
hope your Super Bowl team won.
Don't step. Yes, exactly. Congratulations to Kansas City for. And again, I have no idea. We're doing this before the Super Bowl. I'm just going to assume there were some very questionable calls, and then Kansas City somehow won. That's just what I'm gonna. We could always clip this out later if it didn't, but but we won't. But all right, time to tap on out of here. Everybody, have a fantastic week. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. While my car's filling up, I again go into the convenience store to see if they have that new flavor of Doritos, and a Diet Dr. Pepper. And again, they didn't have that new flavor of Doritos, so I just got a Diet Dr. Pepper. But the guy in front of me was checking out, and he just randomly asked the checkout girl, says, "Did y'all find a wallet here? I think I lost my wallet here." And lady behind the counter says, "Oh, well, when do you think it was?" I don't know, maybe a couple days ago. Now, I'm sitting there thinking, well, when was the last time you came to the store, dude? Or when did you notice your wallet missing? All that type stuff. I don't know. We don't have anything back here.
If you lost your wallet maybe 2 days ago and you don't know, I'm guessing you lost a lot of other stuff too.
Right. When did you notice it missing? But again, if you think you lost it here, do you not have any idea? Were you here recently? And so the lady, when he walks out, she starts laughing and she said, "Was that weird or what?" I said, "Let me tell you something, lady." I said, I may lose my wallet here. I'll be back in a month and a half to check. So you just know that if you find a wallet between now and then, it's gonna be mine. You just hold on to that. Don't give it to anybody else.
No, hold on to that. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe just walk around saying, "Hey man, you found a wallet?" As a matter of fact, we did. Can you describe it? Square?
It's over. Go home.